my technique for 11.
So, you're good to go? You're on?
I take my lens cap.
Your lens cap's on. I would like you to tell us your full name and who you race for.
Becca Fahringer, racing for Stands No Tubes, presented by Maxxis Tires.
Fantastic. So we just want to talk. You're here in Reno, Nevada for the 2018 Cyclocross National Championships, and we want to talk a little bit about tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we're going to segue into talking about U.S. cyclocross in general. Modern cross, contemporary cross. You don't need to fire it up. It's fine. Just leave the lighter. I'll get it out.
Thank you, Fred.
So, tomorrow, you've just been out pre-riding.
Yep.
And we don't really need to talk too much about the course or tire pressure, but let's talk about your race and your goals and like what you want to do tomorrow.
That's something I've actually been thinking a lot about from the end of last season and through this season, and my goals have sort of changed based on where I thought I've been all season. And just this past week, I've been in a good spot mentally in saying I've beaten every person in this field at one point or another on their good days or their bad days. I've just proven that I've been able to come in front of them. I've ridden with them even this year. It took good rides out of me, but I was able to ride with everybody in this field. So I know I'm able to make a good race happen. I'm shooting for podium. I think that I'm very capable of getting on the podium.
Yeah.
See, if I keep saying that, then I'm going to believe it one day.
I believe it. So,
but I'm really aiming for top 5.
Yeah.
Podium would be a dream.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely a possibility. So, I think you probably know, but everybody is talking in the women's race. There's 3 names. Katie Compton, it's her race to lose. Katie Keogh is found an engine and she can handle her bike. And then Ellen Noble is, having a fantastic year, coming off of being a World Championship U23 podium.
Yeah.
When I look at the list of the top women racing tomorrow, you're one of the very next names I think of.
Yeah.
And when you talk about, the sharp end of the women's race is pretty sharp. Like those 3 riders are really good. They're on form. They may even be a level above everybody else. Everybody else that's in that 3rd through 15th spot, it almost seems to me like on any day, it could be any one of those girls that she may finish 15th, and then next week she's 4th.
Yeah.
So give me some thoughts on that. I'm confident. I saw you racing at the Pan Am Champs in Louisville, and you'd been out for a while, and you just came back and just kind of smashed it.
Yeah.
And made it honestly look kind of easy. And I was like, what? This is awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Just give me thoughts on, outside of the big heavy favorites, what do you think, how's it going to play out tomorrow with 15 other women out there that can challenge you?
It's going to be interesting because, like you said, for the top 2 to 3, those are almost set. The top 2, arguably are. And then there's at least 10 more women, like you said, that could come from anywhere. And we have a huge range of backgrounds and a huge range of other things that we're doing. Some are just flying in because they've had to work all week. I was able to come in on Monday to help to acclimate to the altitude. Some people are coming from altitude, some people are coming from sea level, and some people are power riders, some people aren't. And it's all of these different skill sets. And then we add in, some of us have been racing over in Europe, whether it was for the Christmas block or, a couple World Cups. Some people have just been training. Some people have been living in temperatures that are, in the negatives Fahrenheit outside.
Yeah.
Some are in tropical. So right now, being where we are with nationals this year, we won't have the same problem next year, but every single element is going to play into this. Who is sharpest mentally? Who has the most to prove? Who needs to overcome a slump of not having been racing, who got in really top form because they were training. All of those things are going to come into factor. I've been telling myself, for me, altitude won't be a problem. I'm sharp because I've been racing. I'm fit because I've been racing, but I've also had time to rest, and I've really given myself the pep talks to come in saying, I'm better than the rest.
I don't think you need a pep talk.
No, I really need to pep talk. It's been
I'll give you a pep talk then. I'm confident you can get on the podium.
Thank you.
I think that there are, it's not a given. this course, and I've been saying it kind of in all these interviews and talking to everyone, this is the type of course where you can lose the you can lose the race anywhere on this course. It's going to be, there's nowhere on the course where you win. There's not one single section or technical part that's going to prove an advantage for everybody. So it's going to be really good racing, and it can truly be anybody's game. I mean, you can never count Katie out as the 13-time favorite, but I mean, I would not be shocked if we see a complete upheaval in the results and a complete upset, because you can make some drastic mistakes and you're not going to gain that time back on this course. So that's my pep talk. Don't make any mistakes. Don't fuck up. Smooth, relaxed. So that kind of segues into modern cyclocross and contemporary cross, and the women's field. That kind of the meat of the chase group. Basically, there's always a few riders that are just level above everybody, and then you have the chase group, and it can be a few girls. It can also be 20 women. I mean, how long have you been racing cross? And kind of tell me like what you've seen. I mean, that I've seen that again, all the women in that top 5 to 15 or 20 spot, and there's so many different backgrounds, and mountain bikers and road racers, and everybody's kind of coming across and learning cross, but they've all raised their game up, and it's amazing. Like really, I couldn't predict. We can kind of predict the front 5. You have a rough sense of what's going to happen. Outside of that, I'm like, it's just a roll of the dice. So talk just a little bit about I mean, when did you start racing cross, and like kind of what's been your experience, and what do you see?
The national championship in Boulder, Colorado was my first nationals. So this is going to be my 5th national championship. So it's been 4.5 years of pretty serious racing. And before that, I did tries and running. I don't have a lot of off-road experience. And where I see from, just based on my experience and talking to the peers around me, the people that I've progressed with, progressed from, progressed to, I think it's this positive feedback cycle that, new people keep finding the sport. They keep progressing the sport based on their strength or skill sets. And everybody that already existed said, oh shit, I used to be the 10th place rider, now I'm the 15th place rider. I better up my game. So they're training harder. They're getting more skills. They're doing more things in the off season. And it's just, we keep pushing each other, and within the US, we're able to do that, and then we get the confidence to go overseas. Some people have been racing over there, other people keep going over there for the first time and saying like, wow, this is awesome racing. Then they get an opportunity to really sharpen their elbows there, bring those skills back here, earn the places here to like make sense to keep going over to Europe. And I just think it's great. I think that the women in the U.S. are so competitive, and we can make it worthwhile overseas, and that's why we're only going to see growth in U.S. women's cyclocross.
Yeah, I agree. And you're pretty young to the sport. I mean, 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you have so much room to grow and develop, and you're already at the front. You're already at the sharp end of these races. You're just going to get better. It's
made it harder mentally. I sort of noted that earlier today, that I think one of my problems this year was progression always came not easy. It was always hard. The racing's always been hard, but it's just, you're like, oh, I got 10th in this race last year. This year I was 5th. This year I was 3rd. I should be winning, and then you're not winning, and it's this. Oh, well, it turns out everybody is working just as hard, and just because you won it doesn't mean you get it.
Well, and that happens a lot in women's, in all women's sport.
I think all
but in
sport.
Women's cycling, particularly. If you're a woman that has a little bit of talent, you can get into triathlon or road or mountain, and when you're in the beginner ranks, you have this really sharp rise. And the unfortunate thing is, professional women's cycling across all disciplines isn't very deep. So all of a sudden, you've been racing for 2 years, and you're racing against professional women that have been racing for 10 or 15 or 20 years.
And then you're like, oh shit, everyone's really good now.
And like, that's a hard thing. So, that can burn a lot of people out, a lot of women out. And I can tell you're not burned out.
I was worried earlier this year that I was burned out, but I sort of found the fight in the desire again, and I'm only looking forward to next year. But most of all, I'm looking forward to finishing out this year really strong, both mentally, physically, doing the best I can.
Yeah, well, hell yeah, it comes together tomorrow.
Keeping the fire burning.
Yeah.
But guess what? If tomorrow doesn't go well, I have a ticket to fly to France for Wednesday, so I race again in France, and then whether I don't go to Worlds, I'm still racing through February. There are more choices,
and the racing in Europe is going to be harder
Exactly.
And you'll just keep learning.
And guess what? Then the season starts again in like
Yeah.
September.
Yeah, I know,
Oh
right?
my god.
And then you race nationals in 9 months, 10
Oh
months.
god. Yeah. Oh wow, that's right.
Yeah, 10 months.
I don't even have a year to prepare.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I don't know. Do you want anything else?
Just in general, I mean, talk like why do you do this? Why cross?
Sure.
You know, why out of your beginnings where you said like try and stuff. Why? Just talk about what the sport is. Why you do it.
Well, growing up, I rode some dirt bikes, single track, enduro style riding, and so I like the technical stuff. I was never into motocross. I don't really like going super fast, just because it's scary. The stakes are always higher when you're going really fast. So road racing is, I like training on the road, but in road races, in crits, I'm like, I don't really like going 35 miles an hour with my closest friends.
Sure.
And cross, you go fast, but you're guaranteed to fall, and when you do, you usually get right back up. So I like the racing itself. I mean, it kind of has this little like fluffy, safe feeling to it because grass is very soft. Although the ground out there is really hard.
Yeah, it's
I haven't
super
fallen
hard.
on it yet,
It's been
but I heard
freezing
somebody else
overnight.
fall, and I'm like, dang.
No, that's again, you can lose this race.
Yeah.
A lot of places.
There are a lot of places you could lose.
There are a
this
lot of
race.
places to lose this race.
But I love cyclocross specifically because of the community. As soon as I found it, it was I don't know. It was instant friendships. It was instant community.
Right.
It was instant camaraderie. It was a reason to look forward to the weekend.
Yeah.
That's why
That's
cyclocross.
cross. Hell yeah. Sweet. Thanks.
That's fantastic. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
No problem. Woohoo!
Thanks.
I am strong
Good
and
luck.
confident and capable.
You-
That's been my mantra. Oh yeah, I can't just leave, can I? I have like things
You
attached to
could.
me.